Good afternoon, Namaste to all dear learners. I, Dr. Mahesh Singh, Professor Plant Pathology, Tirthankar Mahavir University, Muradabad, Uttar Pradesh. Welcome you all in NIOS live studio program at Noida headquarters. Dear learners, today we will discuss about the major challenging diseases of wheat crops. The topic of today is enhancing wheat crop health, that is a strategy for identifying as well as management for major diseases of wheat. Dear learners, hope you all are doing well. So under this topic we will discuss about the major diseases, their causal agent, what are the symptoms of that particular disease, as well as their etiology, disease cycle, what are the favorable conditions under which disease has been spread, and what will be the suitable management practices like biological management practices, cultural management practices, as well as physiological, as well as the chemical management practices. We will discuss one by one. Dear learners, the objective of today's session is to teach the students about the distribution, economic losses caused by the disease, as well as identifying the symptoms, how you will identify a particular disease in your area or field, as well as any nearby crop, as the etiology, disease cycle and analysis of disease cycle also, as well as identifying the suitable management strategy for the important disease or diseases of wheat crops. Dear learners, the outcome for the today's session will be at the end of the session you will able to understand about the importance of the diseases, their economic loss, their causal agents, symptoms, favorable conditions for the spread of the pathogen, disease cycle and suitable management practices to reduce the disease severity of wheat crop. Dear learners, as you know, wheat crop is one of the world most important cereal crops. As you know, it providing a staple food to the source of billions and more than that of the peoples throughout the world. Dear learners, wheat is cultivated in diverse agroclimatic regions ranging from the temperate to subtropical region and worldwide. Wheat has been grown for a long time, and over the years many different varieties has been also cultivated throughout the world. Wheat disease poses significant challenges to crop productivity and well as the food security threatened, leading to the yield loss and quality reduction also. These diseases are caused by the various pathogens including bacteria, fungi, viruses, nematode, which can infect the different parts of the wheat plant at various growth stages. Dear learners, I have given some list of the some common and important wheat diseases and their causal agent. First is leaf rust. Leaf rust, that is important disease of wheat crop that is caused by Puccinia triticina, and stem rust, it is also caused by Puccinia genus, that is Puccinia graminis, and stripe rust, Puccinia striformis. The powdery mildew, it is caused by the Plumeria graminis, and Fusarium head blight, it also caused by the Fusarium graminarum, and Septoria leaf blotch, it is caused by the Septoria triticii, and tan spot, it is also caused by the Pyrenophora triticii, and the loose smut, you already know about this, that is Astilago triticii, and common bunt, that is caused by the Tilletia caris, and kernal bunt, it is also caused by the Tilletia genus, the species is Indica, and Alternaria blight, it is caused by the Alternaria triticina. And one important disease also is ear cockle of wheat, it is also caused by the a pathogen that is belongs to the group of nematodes that is called Angina titici. So these are the some important list of the diseases and their causal agent. Dear learners, we will discuss some important diseases under this heads. So first is wheat rust. Wheat rust is a very important disease caused by a fungal pathogen that is caused by the Puccinia group, Puccinia genus, and that in fact the wheat plants affecting their leaves as well as stem and grains also. Means the basically all above portion of the soil has been affected by this disease. Infected wheat plants develop rusty colored lesions or pustules. That's why the surfaces of the crop has been covered by the rusty appearance. The rust infected wheat plants maybe reduce the photosynthesis rate as well as the growth of plant, and the lower grain quality also produced by this infection by the rust. There are the some common type of the rust, like I have already tell you, like stripe rust. First is stripe rust, and the alternate name of stripe rust is yellow rust. It is caused by the Puccinia stripiformis. And second is leaf rust. It is caused by the Puccinia triticina, and the common alternate name is brown rust. And the stem rust is also known as black rust, and it is caused by the Puccinia graminis titici. So this is the all three types of rust which caused diseases in the wheat, and we will discuss the black rust in detail. So black rust of wheat is a very important disease of wheat crop, and the distribution of black rust of wheat is caused by a fungal Puccinia graminis. The subspecies is tritici. It is distributed worldwide wherever the wheat crop has been growing. So it is worldwide in distribution, and the prevalence of the wheat growing regions, the disease is commonly found in temperate as well as subtropical region where the wheat cultivation is prevalent. And the environmental favorability for this disease is about 15 to 20 degrees centigrade with high humidity causes the more severity of the disease. And the economically importance of this disease is it causes the significant yield loss, like black rust caused the fungus Puccinia graminis. It is one of the most economically important disease of the wheat, and it reduces the grain quality. Infected wheat plants suffer from the reduced grain quality due to the compromise of the photosynthesis. That's why you will produce a wrinkle shape of seed grains, and the quality will also very low, and the impact of the food security. That's why if overall production is very low, that's why black rust outbreak and lead to the food shortage as well as the price fluctuation also. Wheat dependent region affecting the millions of the people who are really depend on the wheat crop as well as the source of the staple food for them. The cost of disease management also involved by the input cost will reach high. Farmers pay the significant cost for the disease management measures for fungicide application. That's why the cost of input will also increase by this disease. So that's why overall economically it is a very important disease for the wheat crop. The symptoms as well as the causal organism I already discussed you. That is, the causal organism is Puccinia graminis titici, and the symptoms is you will easily identify the rust at the wheat crop. That is yellow orange pustules on the leaves, stem and spikes also. and linear arrangement along with the veins as well as the margins will also appear on the leaves, and darkening and enlargement of the pustules at later stage. At later stage, these pustules may increase their size and shapes also, as well as the formation of the dark streaks and lesions on the stem and spikes. The stems will affected by this rust will seen the major stripe lesions on the stems, and it reduce the photosynthesis and the chlorosis also, then stunting the plants and reduce the yield. Ultimately the whole plant's growth will be reduced, and as well as their low quality of the grain will also reduce. You can see here some photographs of the rusted plant. This is the leaf as well as stems and spikes. Spikes will also affected by this disease. So this is a very common disease you can see nearby your area and in the wheat crop. And about the disease cycle, dear learners, the disease cycle of rust of wheat, that is Puccinia graminis triticale, involved in the several stages, and it is a very complex type of disease cycle over here. So first is from where the disease has been start, means the primary infection from where it has been start. The disease cycle begins with the overwintering structures called the tilia. This is produced by the barberry plants. Basically barberry plants belongs in the southern region of the India and hilly region. Basically in spring germination, in spring the teliospores that germinate and it giving rise to the basidiospores. Means teliospores give the after germination it produce the basidiospore. This basidiospores disperse by the wind dispersal, and wheat plants initially it infect the wheat plant, and infection on the wheat, basically the basidiospore infect the wheat leaves in leading to the formation of the primary uridia. These primary uridia released by the uridospores. In summer there will be the asexual reproduction. Under this uridospores are produced in large number within the uridia and the wheat plant also. Wind dispersal are also involved in this, the spores to other wheat plants and causing the secondary infection. After that basically the wind blown the secondary infection may cause and repeated infection in the summer. Basically the secondary cycle infection occurs throughout the growing season as well as uridia germination and infect the new wheat plant. And late season, the tilia towards the end of the growing season, the fungus may switch to the sexual phases, formation of the tilia on the wheat plant, and this teliospores on wheat plant may serve as the source of inoculum for the next growing season. And these teliospores can infect the barberry plants again and it complete the life cycle. However, this step is not always necessary for the disease to exist for their persistent, but generally it causes by the secondary spores. And the teliospores produce on the barberry overwintering, that's why the severe serving as a source of inoculum for the basidiospores in the following spring season. And this is the disease cycle which is already I have discussed how the pathogens survive as a primary as a primary infection, and after overwintering how the pathogens survive in the summer season, basically on barberry plants, which I have already discussed with you. Dear learners, we will discuss about the management practices one by one. First is use of resistant variety. Dear learners, resistant variety is one of the best practices to minimize the disease severity. So that's why you have to planting the genetically resistant variety for against the black rust, which will be the one of the most effective and suitable control measures. Regularly update varieties to ensure the continuous resistant as well as pathogens involvement. The crop rotation. Crop rotation for wheat crop is with the help of non-host crop is also suitable to minimize the to disturb the disease cycle. And that's why you have to select the non-host, like you can select mustard crop, you can select some other pulses also in this Rabi season, and you have to avoid the planting wheat in the continuous season to minimize the buildup of the pathogens. In continuation of this management, removal of alternate host. Dear learners, you will remove the or eliminate the control of alternate host, like particularly barberry plants. You have to avoid the contact of or resistance of the pathogens over there. So that's why you have to remove or destroy the barberry plant if possible. For breaking their cycle. And early planting and timely sowing, it is one of the best practice to planting the wheat early in the season can help to avoid the peak period of black rust development, reducing the disease pressure. So that's why you have to ensure the timely sowing to promote the uniform crop development and to reduce the susceptibility also. Provide the adequate spacing between the rows to rows as well as plant to plant for the proper circulation of the air to reduce the humidity also. And cultural practices, it optimize the plant spacing and avoid the excessive nitrogen fertilizers as well as the dense canopy and lush growth of the that create the favorable condition for the disease development. That's why you have to use the balanced dose of basically nitrogen fertilizers to avoid or to minimize the excesses bushes or less growth of the wheat plant, because if you will apply the more nitrogen, it will cause the soften the tissue and the pathogens will get easily attack on the crop that will affect the severe condition. And the surveillance as well as monitoring, regular monitoring fields on the presence of the black rust will also help to reduce the disease severity. Use of disease forecasting models will also available in area and tools, and you can access this risk information and infection and guide management to decide management of practices. And genetic resistant stepwards practices, you can also resistance to the prevent the rapid background and variety, and to rotate the different sources of the resistance to avoid the excessive reliance on the single resistance gene. You have to select the proper gene and you have to rotate also for the best resistance. And quarantine measures will also helpful for the strict restriction to the movement of the infected plants material, and it reduce the introduction of a new pathogens and new area. And fungicide, it is also one of the last weapons, you can say, for the minimize the control of the secondary spread of the pathogens. For example, tebuconazole, propiconazole will also will effective, and mancozeb at the rate of 1 to 2 kilogram per hectare will also applicable or helpful. Carbendazim you can also use, that is 150 to 200 gram per hectare. will also effective to minimize the disease severity, or you can say the spread of the secondary pathogens will also reduce by this fungicide. So that's why you have to select any one of this at the rate of like mancozeb at the rate of 1 to 2 kilogram per hectare, and like that. Dear learners, the second disease is ear cockle of wheat. Ear cockle of wheat, as you know, it is also important disease of wheat crop that is caused by Angina titisci. Means Angina titisci is a nematode, not a fungus, bacteria or viruses. So, under this, the ear cockle of wheat caused by fungus Angina titisci, it is found in a wheat growing region of the world. Means it is also distributed throughout the world where wheat crop has been growing. Prevalence and temperate climate, it is more commonly observed in the temperate and climate zone where the wheat cultivation is prevalent, and ear cockle can be found in various countries across the Europe, North America, Asia and other wheat producing region also. So that's why it has been distributed, or it is found all area where wheat is cultivating. And now about the economic importance, as point of economically, it is also important because it reduce the ultimately yield loss reduction, quality reduction, as well as seed contamination also. Means and management, it involved the management cost, management practices. So ultimately the input cost of the wheat production will also high, market accesses, restriction of some country impose the strict phytosanitary regulation that comes under quarantine on the wheat imports and export to prevent the introduction of ear cockle and other seed-borne diseases. So that's why the overall economically very important disease, that is ear cockle of wheat. So about the causal organism, the Angina titisci, as I told you, you can see here in photograph, that is a kind of nematodes, that is Angina titisci. It's belong to the kingdom Animalia. The phylum is Nematoda, class Sarcinetia, and order Talenchida, and family Anguinidae, and the genus is Angina and species is Titisci. So this is about nematodes, which is basically belongs to the Animalia and Nematoda phylum. Dear learners, about the symptoms. Symptoms appears on basically caused by the Angina titisci nematodes on leaves, stem, as well as heads, basically on floral part. The affected plants looks dwarf as well as twisted and crinkled leaves. You can get easily identify in the wheat crop in the field in the presence of galls as well as smut ball like appearance on the wheat heads. Galls are irregular in shape as well as smaller than the healthy grains also. So that's why you can also identify easily. Galls can be whiten in color, pinkish, as well as sometimes yellowish to brownish in color. Infected grains within galls are smaller, shriveled and discolored also. Grains may appear chalky or grayish brownish due to the nematode and fungal infection. Some combination of infection may be reduced to grayish to brownish color after the infection of the fungus. Reduction in the grain yield quality per hectare will also caused by this pathogen, and ultimately weaken of the stem and leading to the overall health yield. You can see here the twisting of the leaves as well as spikes and the grain quality you can compare with the infected as well as healthy also. Spike you can see here the twisting of the spikes are also seen here, and the some in upper left right photo the galls as well as the nematodes are also seen here. That's why you can easily identify the basically the twisting as well as on leaves, spikes, and the quality of the grain will also reduce by this pathogen. Now about the disease cycle. It involves the several stages in the disease cycle of Angina tytici, like the life cycle begins with the nematode are introduced into the soil, typically through the contamination of the seed as well as soil. Means the primary infection may involve the source of through the seed as well as through soil also. Infective stage, the nematodes exist in the infective stage in the soil, waiting to the encounter susceptible plants host and perennation of the host will also by the favorable conditions, and the juvenile stage the feeding on the reproduction is on the inside of the plant tissue. The nematodes feeds and it reproduce the release of the enzyme, and that's why the breakdown of the cells. And dear learners, just we will meet again after a small break. Thank you.
प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने,
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने,
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय के लोट से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात।
कोई मन चाहा दिन चुने हम अपना जीवन स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा दिन चुने
Welcome back once again, dear learners. Dear learners, we had already discussed about the ear cockle of wheat, and under that topic we are discussing about the disease cycles. Means disease cycle, primary infection start by the seed, contaminated seed, as well as the contaminated soil also, and it infect the basically the through the soil, as well as when the seed get germinate, the nematodes will also get activate, and they can cause the infection in the roots. Through root they can reach the plant stem, as well as the grain also. Means ultimately they can infect the grain quality also. The formation of galls and they can also disseminate through the infected galls and through seed, and they can survive the long time in the seed. You can imagine it, more than 25 years they can survive with in the contaminated seed also. So that's why it can spread for very long time also through the contaminated seed. And dear learners, we will discuss about the disease management. Under disease management practices, we can use the certified seed, you can say the disease free seed for the growing purpose, and you can start the certified disease free seed to minimize the risk of the introducing nematode into your wheat field. The crop rotation is with the help of non-host crop to break the nematode life cycle, and that will reduce the population level in the soil. And you have to avoid the wet condition in your field. So that's why ear cockle is favored by the wet condition. So you have to avoid the over irrigation to ensure the proper drainage in your field, and you will select the resistant variety that will be the resistant against the Angina titici, which will be the available, and the resistant variety can help to reduce the disease severity or more infection. And the seed treatment will also effective. You can treat the seed with the nematicide along with the use of fungicide also, that will reduce the nematode population, and it protect the emerging seedling also. And you can also incorporate the organic matter into the soil to improve the soil health, as well as to promote the beneficial microorganism that will be the suppress the nematode population. Biological control will also effective against this, and you will follow the regular monitor the wheat field for any seeing the sign or symptoms of ear cockle such as galls or wheat heads. You can take the appropriate action against the infection if you detect it in your field. Sanitation practices will also good type of management strategy to removing and destroying the infected plant debris to reduce the spread of nematodes to the healthy plants also. Integrated pest management practices involving the all suitable practices, all suitable approaches to combination of multiple control methods will be also effective to management of the Angina titici disease to minimize the yield reduction. And loose smut of wheat. Dear learners, the third disease which we will discuss, the loose smut, that is distribution and the presence. Wheat smut is can be found worldwide wherever the wheat has been cultivating. The occurrence of the various wheat growing region across the North America, Europe, Asia, Australia and some other continents also has been reported this loose smut of wheat crop. The environmental factors will also helpful for the release or the severity of the disease, such as temperature, humidity and soil type. That will be the favorable condition for the fungal growth and infection that will increase the incidence of the smut. And the economic importance, yield loss is also caused by this disease, ranging from the moderate to severe. It's depending on the severity as well as the rate of infection and the stage of infection also, at which development of disease occurs. And the quality of reduction will also affect the quality by the smut infected grains are often discolored, shriveled and contaminated with the fungal spores that reduce their market value and quality, also increase the population production cost. Farmers incur the additional expenses for the controlling of the managing the smut disease in their field. And now about the causal organism, and the causal organism I already told you means Astilago titisi. The classification of this is belong to the kingdom fungi and the phylum Basidiomycota, and genus is Astilago and species is titisi. And about the symptoms, dear learners, the Astilago titisi display on the identifiable symptoms like smoky heads with the dark spore masses, floral structures with replacement by the complete masses of the fungus. It reduce the grain quality, reduce the filling of the grain, and can external dark coating on the complete spike, manifesting the visibility during the flowering. The systematic infection results the widespread symptoms. It releases the powdery spore masses that will contribute to the pathogen spread, impacting the seed quality and causing the economic importance due to the reduction of yield. So that's why you can see the complete distortion, complete destroying of the spike by the infection of the smut fungus. You can see the photographs, means by this spikes 100% grains has been destroyed by the infection of the smut. You can see on the clearly the symptoms, and you will get easily identify in the field this disease also. And about the disease cycle, the loose smut is a seed-borne disease, and the disease begins with the dissemination of the teleospores, which are produced in the infected wheat heads during the previous growing seasons. Means if the previous growing seasons any crop debris, infected crop debris or soil get contaminated, and overwintering they can exist, and they can provide the source of infection. And germination of the basidiospores can produce the basidiospores for small infection spores that will be capable to infecting the young wheat plants. And infection of wheat flowers also, basidiospore infect the developing wheat flowers during the flowering stage basically, and it gaining the entry through the floral organ. And the pathogen that will Astilago titisi, it colonizes the vascular tissue of the wheat plant, that leading to the systemic infection, and the infected floral structures are replaced by the masses of dark spores that characterized by the loose smut symptoms. and development of the spore masses after that, and that the release of the spores for the secondary infection, and the secondary infection, it release the spores such as the source of the secondary infection that leading to the spread of the disease for the neighboring plants or adjacent field also. And about the disease management, dear learners, you have to select the proper planting variety, like wheat variety. You have to select that will be inherent resistant against the Ostiligo and seed treatment is one of the best practice also for, because this is the seed borne disease, so that's why you have to treat the seed before sowing. The test and the crop rotation is also important to break the disease cycles if the pathogens is present in the soil, and the sanitation practices will also helpful to reduce the disease severity. Avoid the volunteer plants also. You can control the volunteer plants, the like self-sown crop, especially in the vicinity nearby the field, and reduce the potential for the pathogen survival. You can plant the timely sowing will also help to reduce the disease pressure to minimize the risk of infection during the critical growth stage. And fungicide application of the systemic fungicide will also helpful for the minimize the disease severity. Basically the secondary infection will also reduce by the application of the fungicide. And you can also apply the integrated pest management, integrated disease management strategy approaches for the combination of various control measures to minimize the disease severity. Dear learners, now about the kernel bunt of wheat. Kernel bunt of wheat is also important disease which is caused by the fungal pathogens, and it has been distributed in the regions where basically warm and dry climate were there. The disease was first reported by the kernel that is comes under in Haryana in India, and by Mitra in 1931. Hence the name comes as kernel bunt. It is the prevalent in the part of India, Pakistan, Mexico, Nepal, South Africa, USA, and some other continent also. And the economically it is also important because it causes the severely affected wheat crops can cause the about 20% yield reduction by this disease, and it increase the production cost also. It involves the management practices, pesticide use, that's why the ultimately the input cost will also high, and quality reduction. It infect the wheat quality, and may suffer the quality degradation. It impacting the market value also, because if you will harvest the contaminated grains lot, that's why your ultimately whole crop will whole produce will be affected, and the market value will also reduce. The trade restriction will also suffer. Kernel bunt infected wheat from affected regions will also affected the economically viability of the wheat production for that area. And about the pathogens, the pathogen is caused by this disease that is Tilletia indica. It belongs to the fungal group and phylum Basidiomycota. And dear learners, about the symptoms, basically the infected wheat grains appears the healthy from the outside, but it is not healthy. Outside you will see it looking the healthy, but it is basically contaminated by the dark powdery masses that is called teliospores inside. And foul type of odor will also fail if you will. Infected grains often emit a fleshy and fishy and foul type of odor due to the presence of the fungal spores. and the upper closure area in infected the grains may exhibit the blackened masses or smut like balls on the upper portion, and it reduce the ultimately grain quality, and the market value will also very hamper by this disease, and human consumption will also affect their health and milling due to the presence of the fungal spores. Dear learners, you can see here in photographs infected spikes of the wheat as well as grain affected by the smut fungus, kernel bunt fungus, and you can see and compare with the healthy as well as the infected grains. You can imagine if the grain quality is distorted by this fungus, will the market value as well as the quality of the produce is very depleted by these pathogens. And about the disease cycle, kernel bunt is often the seed-borne disease. It is also caused by the teliospores in the presence of the soil in the soil surface. Basically, the infection of the disease cycle begins with the spores of the fungus, that is Tilletia indica, means primary infection come in contact with the wheat spike during the flowering stage basically. And penetration, the spores germinate and penetrates the wheat floral through the stigma hairs also. After that it colonizes and symptoms development will also affect, and the ultimately survival of the pathogens and repeat the cycles one by one. And you can manage this disease by the crop rotation, resistant variety, and you can treat the seed with the help of fungicide. You can timely sowing of the crop as well as the sanitation practices. You can apply the fungicide basically available in the market, and monitor regularly, monitor in the field to if you find any disease symptoms early detection, you will easily identify, and you can get the suitable measures for the disease management. So this is all about the wheat diseases and their management. Thank you, dear learners. Hope this session is find suitable for you. Thank you very much.